Okay, we are back. Welcome. This is the Houston Bound Podcast, your ultimate guide to moving to the heart of Texas. I'm Chase Taylor, and this is Mandy Poff, and we are your hosts today. And we're talking all things
and forever.
We're talking all things hurricane. That is the topic of the week here in Houston. So we kind of wanted to fill in our out-of-state friends about what's been going on here in the South. On July 8th, Hurricane Beryl made landfall around 4 a.m. near Matagorda, and winds were, they say they were around 80 miles per hour. They picked up after that. I think central Houston and North Houston were most affected around tonight.
Mm-hmm. And those winds, we believe, got up to 130 miles an hour.
It was really intense. There was some storm surging down in Galveston. I think that Bolivar Pass ended up doing okay. It has Airbnb up there, property up there, and she said that it did fine.
Yeah, so the property didn't take on any water. Storm surge was, I believe, 5 to 6 feet, and our home sits 24 feet above sea level.
That's great. That's good. Galveston flooded pretty bad.
Yep, so lots of flooding in Galveston. As most people know, our streets in the city are built, they're engineered to flood. So when there's rain, all of the water pools into our streets, and then it is then taken to the outputs. But when we have too much water in Houston, that's when we flood.
And we are here in Houston prone to flooding. Different areas handle the storms obviously differently. There's parts of Houston that flood way more frequently. Knowing those areas, something that only a local would really know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, we flood in areas for sure. I think that the major issue with this hurricane, even though it was a Category 1, was the wind speeds.
I mean, I definitely downplayed this hurricane because, as you know, I mean, we haven't had a hurricane since Harvey.
In 2017.
Yeah, in 2017. I personally was not as prepared. I downplayed it. I thought that it was going to be just fine, but it was a lot worse than I thought.
Right. And just so people know, I don't know who all would remember this, who all was paying attention, because we all did here, but, in other states, we weren't necessarily keeping up with all the hurricanes. Harvey was a Category 4, and when it made landfall and it got over Houston, it just dumped a bunch of water. It slowed down. It dumped a bunch of water on us for days on it. Mm-hmm. So the main problem, like 5 days in a row.
Just
the main thing was flooding. This was a Category 1. People are saying, why was it more impactful? I don't think that it was necessarily more impactful, but it had a different impact. We had high winds.
Yeah, the winds on this one were really detrimental to us. But then also it was brought to our attention that the freeze of 2021, if anybody remembers, we had the Snowmageddon, is I think what all Houston called it. But basically, we had a freeze. It was a 2 to 4 day freeze, and everybody's pipes burst, mine included. I was in the shower when it happened.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mine was in the bathroom, over the bathroom too, but I was in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh, I was actively washing my hair. Oh. So that freeze happened in 2021, and then our last 2 summers have been so dry. We've basically been in a drought, and the combination of those 3 years really affected the root systems in our trees, which is where a lot of the damage that you're talking about is coming from.
Right. I don't know how many people I know personally that had trees and large limbs break off and fall on their houses. And I think that was
so many of my friends.
The majority of the damage was trees and just
trees
over and messing up fences and messing up houses. And then our loss of power has been the biggest impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been really tough for the community. Everybody's groceries, everybody's work. I mean, the streets, the street lights, the traffic, the heat, the humidity. On top of being out of power for 3 days, we then had another storm yesterday, which brought in an immense amount of humidity.
Yes.
So,
okay.
It sound good. Yeah, you can edit this.
So for those that don't know, Houston, I mean, I'm sure the majority of people know, but Houston is extremely hot, especially in July. So when the storm first hit, because of the rainfall and everything, we had a little bit of a cool break. And so the first day wasn't really hot. It's probably hot to people normal, but it wasn't like blistering hot like we're used to in the summer. Well, by the second day, we're back to our normal heat wave. Mm-hmm. And so people were fine the first day, recovering, fixing their yard, pulling trees out of their houses and off their cars, all the things. And then by day 2, it was like, oh my gosh, we still don't have power, and it is horribly hot.
And guys, we don't say that to be sheltered and conditioned, with these great luxuries. We say that because our residents in Houston, our elderly, our disabled, these individuals are stuck in Houston with no power, with no ability, to do the daily functions that they need, people on oxygen. So when we bring this information to you, it's not simply to say, oh, it's been so hot for 4 days.
No.
It's to know that the community is impacted as well.
Absolutely. I mean, think about the scenario, you have some people that can't necessarily afford prep for a hurricane because prices of groceries are already high right now. So, they're getting what they can to feed their families. They don't have extra supplies. And then their power goes out and their fridge is down. So now we're in a scenario where we're hunting for ice to keep food in a cooler cool when we can't find gas, when everywhere's out of ice and gas and everything. So and then people that are elderly, can't drive. People that are disabled can't drive. And a lot of the roads actually had trees down in the road where you couldn't even access the neighborhood and bring those people supplies.
Oh yeah, the amount of debris alone and closed roadways due to flooding or debris. I mean, it's astronomical. So I guess this really is a great opportunity, Chase. So what would you tell our listeners if you had to give them just the brief overview of here's hurricane preparedness in Houston?
Sure. I actually put up a list. So this is a simple list that I feel like most people could get the majority of these items. Hopefully they have the resources to get at least these items. So number 1, batteries charged, electronic charged battery packs. So I didn't think that this storm would be as bad, but the moment that I started hearing it would be bad, I plugged in my battery charging packs because you just never know how long we're going to have on the phone. And kind of in Houston, you need to be prepared to go without power for 2 weeks if we have a disaster like this. Another thing is at least half a tank of gas. No, not everyone can keep their gas tank full all the time, but you need at least half a tank of gas. And then your yard. So prep in your outside areas. If you have loose furniture, if you have pool equipment or anything that can, landscaping equipment, anything that can blow into your windows, like the wind speeds were crazy and a lot of people were having things plummet through their windows. Obviously, safety is number 1. Another thing is make sure that you have your laundry washed and dry because you don't want to be stuck with, no towels or no clothes for your children when your power's out. Then you never know. There could be a boil notice where you can't even use the water to wash your clothes. So you need at least a few weeks if possible of clean clothes for your families, any prescriptions that they may need and things like that. If you have little ones, I think it's important to have activities because a lot of them are, getting store crazy and all those. If you have fur babies, you want to have at least 2 weeks worth of food for them in the event of a storm because, again, we're having trouble getting out and getting to the stores. Lights are down, trees are in the road. You need to have your pets covered as well. If you have little ones, it's always important to have activities. The most important thing is obviously a case of water, hopefully 2 if you can, and some non-perishable foods, snacks. And then it's really important to have charcoal so you can cook because not everyone has either the gas line could be out or you don't have gas in your home to be able to cook inside. So you need to be able to grill. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is some food options. So if you are someone that doesn't have the means to have a generator, to have the fridge plugged in, these are some not necessarily super healthy meals, but things that can get you by. Peanut butter and jelly, obviously. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches work. Pans of soup, cans of meat, tuna, chicken, fruits and veggies that can go on the countertop like tomatoes, bananas. The trail mix is always good. Cracker packs that have cheese or the peanut butter in it just to give you some sources of protein. And then cereal, things like that. So, it'll get you by. So,
yeah, it's always good to have those non-perishables and especially some good. The kids are already going to be stressed. It's a high emotional time, but at least have some fun snacks, some fun games.
Right.
A good positive attitude.
We just need to do our best to help our neighbors and be there for our family members. Houston's really great at banding together.
Houston strong.
And supporting each other. And so I think that's how we always handle things like this and help out. But how many people still don't have power?
It's estimated that 350,000 people are still without power, and that's about 40% of those who were affected. So that's a lot of people.
And we're filming this Friday, July 12th at 2:15. Originally, they were saying estimated 3 million people in Texas without power. So they have been moving mountains, working around the clock. And like, shout out to our linemen and the people that are helping.
Thank you guys so much for getting everything back and going.
Thank you. I know they're coming from out of state and helping us get our power back.
Absolutely. I think this is a great opportunity. Chase, I want to know all about your experience since you didn't get gas.
Well, I've been in Houston my whole life, so I'm used to storms, hurricanes, things like that. I really underestimated the storm. While my husband had a full tank of gas, so we did have some gas. My car didn't have gas, and it kind of rolled into the house on me, kind of my irresponsible, typical nature. I get lectured on all the time. We lost power at 8:30 a.m. on Monday. We had it back midday on Wednesday, luckily. We did have a small generator that we could plug fans into and our refrigerator into. So we were able to cook on our gas stove, plug in a little lamp. We did okay. The majority of my family members and households still do not have power. That's like 10 different houses that still don't have power. So I have family members staying with me, thank goodness. And, we're just all, helping out where we can, rotating households and resources. But, we're doing okay. How are you guys doing over there?
We're okay. We're good. We did lose power and we have it back on. But actually, one of our agents is here in the office today, and she has a really great story for us and a really good tip on how to remain safe during a storm with a
Tanya. Hi. She's one of our inspired agents, and she has been since the very beginning. She is really local. She wants to tell us a little bit about her experience with this whole hurricane.
So my experience wasn't horrible because we didn't have any trees fall on our house. We had a backup generator. I did have a lot of family at my house, so I was happy to be able to take them in. So to take people in. But I do want to share a tip and experience that happened with my mom. So we both have generators, and it's the Generac backup generators, and
whole home.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
nice.
whole home. It's really nice. It's very nice when they start, because if they don't start when you're in the middle of a hurricane, you have to figure out how to start it or wait till the people that service it can take care of it. But years ago, my dad, before he passed away, put the generator next to mom and dad's house. So my mom kept saying, "Hey, I feel like I smell gas coming to the house. I feel like gas is coming to the house." And so we couldn't figure out what we didn't smell gas. So I just said, "Here, take this carbon monoxide detector, put it in the house, and just in case." So sure enough, by Wednesday, because remember the generator's been running from Monday all the way to Wednesday. Well, now they're still running at my house. She calls me. She says, "Carbon monoxide detector's going off." So
wow.
Yes. So tip: I'm going to look at you guys. Don't put your generator next to your house. So what was happening is the exhaust fumes were coming up and going into the soffit vents and into the attic, and then the carbon monoxide is heavier than oxygen, so it sinks down. That's why you put your carbon monoxide detector low,
down below.
Yeah. Right. So that happened to my mom that day, and then I have a friend that I went to high school with, actually posted on Facebook as well, that same thing happened to her. So
that is so scary.
Because I know a lot of people are probably going to start investing in generators, because you're seeing it all over social media right now. And just make sure you put it away from your home. Don't even put it next to your garage. I don't think you should put it next to your garage if your garage is attached.
Right. And that also speaks to using the right vendors, because a lot of people are selling generators and installing them and not necessarily the best vendor or service provider to be installing these. So we need to make sure we're looking at Google reviews. We're asking real sources like friends or family members that have actually used these companies, and make sure they're credible and they have good integrity and they're not going to put your family at a risk like that. It's like really scary.
It was very scary. What if we didn't give her the carbon monoxide?
Right.
She didn't have one in her house. I happen to have one in my house.
And I mean, a lot of these are running off electricity. And so even if you have it, sometimes
natural gas,
the carbon monoxides run off.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yes.
So the carbon monoxides are running off of, sometimes on batteries, but sometimes they're also just plugged into the wall. And that means they're not working, obviously. The power is out, and the generator, is powering certain zones of your home. I mean, they're all different. So it just depends on how yours is set up. Yeah. So it's important to have one and to know that it's actually functioning and working. So, That's a great tip.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. I can't wait till you come on again.
Me too.
Thanks for the tips.
You're welcome.
So this would be a good point to plug together. So if you guys are looking for an agent, Tanya grew up in the Woodlands. She's been here since the Woodlands
Her whole life. She helps buyers, sellers, and vendors, and she can also service your commercial needs. She knows lots of very valuable vendors. She can steer you in the right direction, the right people, like that. Buying, she's your girl. So reach out to her, and we'll make sure to put her contact info in the notes of our episode today.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was really helpful and awesome.
Oh, I know. I didn't even know some of that information she said.
It was awesome.
Yeah, she said.
So I just wanted to, thanks, Tanya. That was awesome. We love Tanya. She had some useful stuff there.
Might save somebody's life.
For sure. Absolutely. So I kind of wanted to wrap this up, but I think we need to talk about one of the big questions that everybody is probably wondering when it comes to real estate. Like, how is this going to affect your resale as a seller?
That's a great question. I think my initial thought would be the disclosures have to change. So now a seller who was impacted by the storm may have to disclose rising water on the property. They may have to disclose penetration of water on the property. So those are all things. As a landlord, I'm imagining that they're going to be repairing quite a bit currently.
Because it's on the landlord, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you have your renter's insurance for everything that's inside of the home, but anything exterior or that's damaged is on the landlord. So those who are interested in investing know that this is a natural disaster that could impact them.
Definitely a possible risk. And to any of our renters, just know that this isn't a risk that you have to assume all the responsibility of. It is one of the joys of renting that you're not responsible for those things. So landlords, I think, with everyone still working on getting power, I think it's going to take some time. It's going to take a lot of grace from tenants.
Lots of grace.
I think we all just need to have grace with each other in this and help each other as much as we can. Unfortunately, we were just informed that more rain is coming our way. So my advice is if you have damage to your home, have it professionally tarped up, protect it.
Yeah, we know some of the local store managers for Home Depot and Lowe's, and so we've heard of all of the hurricane post repair opportunities that they have. That they have all of their tarps, all the generators, everything pulled out for everybody, bungee cord. So go stop in, go get your shelter secured until it can be repaired. Especially with this next storm rolling in.
Absolutely. And if you ever need general contractors or repair companies, we have a preferred vendor list that we work on. That's one thing that Inspired pulled is a preferred vendor list. So if there's ever a repair you need to your house, hurricane damage related or not, reach out to one of our agents and we can get that over to you, because the number one thing that we like to do for our community is support you guys in any way and help you connect with good local businesses.
Absolutely. That's a really good plug, Chase. And just kind of piggybacking off of that, if you need temporary housing, or if you are a landlord or an investor who's been impacted and not quite sure what to do in these next steps, or you're going to have to do any insurance claims, or you need estimations on value, feel free to reach out to us. We really are a wealth of information. And if we don't have it, we probably have someone to direct you to. So if you're impacted by the hurricane and you need help, or if you're planning on moving to the area and you're curious about how hurricanes can impact your move, please reach out. Our information's in the show notes, and anything you need, we're here for you.
Absolutely. I think we're going to sign off, and I just love to everyone. Sending hugs to everyone that's impacted.
Yes, big virtual hugs to everybody affected.
We love our clients and we love our community, so we just hope that everyone gets back on their feet and we get through this together.
Just strong.
Yes, just strong. We'll go ahead and let you go. This is Chase and Mandy signing off. Take care, guys.